everyone. Welcome back to another week of Wonder, I Wonder, come wonder with me. That's right, I Wonder. This is a series of videos where you ask the questions and I try my best to answer them as we wonder together. And this week, our question comes from Sloan. Yeah, Sloan. Sloan, what's your question?
Hey, Miss Allie, I've been wondering, since I like animals a lot, what animals did Jesus hang out with?
Wowee! I love this question, Sloan. And I love all those stuffed animals behind you. You sure do love animals. Now, before we talk about what kinds of animals Jesus hung out with, I'm wondering, what's your favorite animal? Let's take a moment and share our answers in the chat. What is your favorite animal? Whoa, there are so many different kinds of animals in the world, aren't there? And God sure is creative, huh? I wonder, did Jesus have a favorite animal? I wonder. All right, Sloan, back to your question. What animals did Jesus hang out with? Let's first start by looking at where Jesus lived and what kind of biome he lived in. A biome describes a large part of the planet that has similar kinds of plants and animals and weather. So Jesus lives here in a region of the world called the Middle East, specifically in this area called Palestine. And in this part of the world, the major biomes are desert, grassland, and marine, or ocean or sea. Thanks to the work of scientists and zoologists, we know what kinds of animals usually live in these biomes. So we know what kind of animals were living in the same places Jesus lived. Some of those animals are fish, clams, lobsters, crabs, turtles, snails, camels, foxes, snakes, scorpions, lizards, gazelles, birds, donkeys, sheep, goats, horses, cats, dogs, lions. There are so many different kinds of animals who lived in this part of the world. And that isn't even all of them. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because Jesus was also Jewish, which means that he followed the Torah. And remember, the Torah is the first 5 books of our Bible. And in the Torah, there are rules about what kinds of animals Jesus could and could not hang out with. Some of the animals that Jesus could hang out with were fish and birds and sheep and goats and gazelles. And some of the animals Jesus couldn't hang out with were camels, crabs, lobsters, lizards, snakes, and snails. People who study and practice the Torah have different answers as to why some animals were clean, as they called it, or unclean. Some reason might be because they were dirty or unsanitary, especially during a time when they didn't have refrigerators. But it also could have been a way to set God's people apart from the rest of the world. Now, what's really cool is that there's a story in our Christian tradition where God tells a man named Peter, who was friends with Jesus, by the way, that there are no longer clean and unclean animals, and that now all animals are equal, and you can hang out with whatever kind of animals you want. And I love this story because it shows us that God is growing us all the time, and that God loves to take these boundaries or walls around things or groups of animals or groups of people and transform them and make them more inclusive and create spaces where everybody feels welcome. So I wonder, what are some ways that you can practice including people or animals who might feel left out? Let's take some time to share our answers in the chat. What are some ways you can practice including people or animals who might feel left out? Wow, thanks for sharing, everyone. You all have such big and kind hearts. And thank you, Sloan, for asking such a great question. I can't wait to answer even more of your questions. Remember, you can email them to me, or you can text or Facebook or snail mail me your questions. And remember, no question is off limits. Thanks for wondering with me.